Hello, my dear students. How are you doing? Well, perhaps many of you are actually very busy doing your work, doing the tasks that your modules and your other teachers, subject teachers, are asking you to do. So I completely understand to see why, even if it's deadline already tomorrow for your second project, that very few have submitted their work. Well, that's very understandable. So in that case, I would then move the deadline on Friday this week. So now I would expect that many, if not all of you, would be able to submit the said project, project number two. Many of you are asking if you will be making 3 to 5 minutes for each questions. Well, that is not how I gave the instructions. I told you to make a video which will last 3 to 5 minutes, and there are three parts. Okay, so that is very clear. I don't need to repeat myself for that. Okay, so we will move on to the discussion. Um, this is about module 3 and 4, and the title is Society for Economics, or Panlipunan para sa Ekonomiya. So before I go on to that, I would like to give you something that I've truly missed from the discussion that I made, the first one, the common good discussion, because we were talking about God being just and God being so loving. He wants everyone, He equally loves everyone, of course. And at the same time, He inflicts punishment to those who committed crime and sin. And that is the same thing that we need to do when we truly love our enemy. We have to bring them out to justice so that they would have a chance to to convert themselves and serve their sentence, serve their punishment for the crimes that they have done, and that is very clear. But the thing is, when a certain person is being committed a crime with, or he is the defendant or the victim, normally the human nature would respond in vengeance. He would retaliate and inflict harm from harm. So again, if we have that kind of principle, then we are just advocating, promoting, and we are making the vicious cycle. Vicious means evil. Vicious cycle of violence, of vengeance, of revenge. So there is no end to crimes, and there's no end to anger and wrath and killings and murder if we do that. So the very good example, very uh, stark example for that was the case of the Ampatuan. As far as I could remember, the Ampatuan were clashing with another clans. I don't know what really the reason was, but the outcome of it was the vicious cycle of vengeance and violence until it came to the point when they actually murdered the whole part of the big part of the clan, wherein other people were who's not even included in their quarrel, big quarrel, was even murdered as well. So what they did was they killed a huge group of people and then buried them into that remote site where no people can see. They buried them, including the trucks, the cars. Inside were people, hoping that nobody would find out. But then it was found out, and they were found guilty about it. And that is such a horrendous crime that they made. So what I'm saying is, we should have the heart just like Jesus Christ. When he was carrying the cross in Calvary towards the cross, and he was nailed to the cross, he said to God the Father in front of his mockers and violators, he said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. And he even forgave the, the, the thief to his side, the other thief, not the other one who mocked him, but the other one who asked forgiveness and who asked that he would not be forgotten. So God is very merciful. God is loving, but at the same time, He is just, and so should we. All right. So I think I've clearly made the point for that. So let's go on to the second subject, I mean topic, which is about society for economics. Let's try to define economics. Well, for me, economics is the science of the system of producing goods and services. When we say goods, those are the physical things that we consume or use. We buy it from the market, the supermarket, department store, or right now we have lots of platforms like digital platforms like Shopee or Lazada or Amazon and the like using the internet. So, and then people use those goods and services. Services, when we mean um, immaterial products, like if you are a lawyer, then your service is defending you in the court. So if you're a teacher, which means your service will be about teaching, using his capacity to teach and to give learnings to people. Okay, so that's goods and services, and the production of goods and services and the consumption of goods and services, and there's a cycle going on with the use of money or the use of something valuable like gold or property as an exchange for that goods and services. Then that's what we call economics. And what does economics mean to our lives as an individual or a part of the family or society is that we all have to be a productive part of it. Like each one of you should have some kind of profession or skill or something that you have like you're supposed to be a gem, not like a liability to the society, something you can offer, because all of us are made different. At the same time, we are made in some ways equal. Each one of us has skills that is not available to others. I mean, others have different skills. You have your own skill, but then when we work together, we become a superpower, like a unificating, productive, and a source which makes a society a better place to live in, which makes us all happy, of course. So what you do for your part is that you have the responsibility to cultivate and develop your talent, your skills that God has given you. That's why you go to school, you educate yourself, you train yourself, which something that you can do actually. For example, you train yourself to speak in English and improve your communication so that someday you can work in a call center, which is very beneficial for your part. And that is actually the point. And in the society, um, we have economics plays a very important and vital role. But at the same time, people are very much tempted to think that life is all about money, life is all about goods and services, and to take whatever they want. But then they forgot the values, they forgot the morals. And what is very important is that for some people, this is something that we need to do away with. Money is higher in terms of value than people. I'm sure for many cases and for many situations and examples, you have seen that for yourselves, wherein people are so much addicted to money and power and property that they forgot about the poor ones. They forgot about helping those who are in need. That they tend to stamp on people who gets in their way, no matter if it's illegal and unrighteous. So for us, it's not just that man or the person is of the higher value than the material things or money or riches or goods and services, but it should be God. God should be the highest value that there is. Like in a pyramid scale, God is the highest, then human or we as people, and then everything else like goods and services in the world. So if you have that kind of, if you have that sort of formula, then you are actually doing very good. for the betterment of the society, because um, we all know God is the designer of all things. Let me give you an example that God should be prioritized over everything. Jesus said in the Bible, in the Gospel actually, that whoever loves his mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever could not hate himself is not worthy of me. Now, it seems that Jesus is talking about hating oneself and not loving mother, yes, but what he actually means was that to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love others second. Okay, the first is God, and the others is second. So love others as yourself, as I have loved you, according to Jesus. And Jesus also said, you cannot have two masters. One cannot serve both God and money. It should be either God or money. So what I mean to say about saying all these things is that there is a certain example among the many examples, is that cyber sex and selling kids to cyber sex for the sake of earning much money is very much rampant. It's a reality we cannot deny. Even here in Lapu-Lapu City, in places where we can find Baba Cordova, and we heard a lot of stories like that, and many raids, raid operations by the police, and we see a lot of documentaries and victims for that, wherein perhaps a 9-year-old, 11, 12 girl loves so much her parents, her mother particularly, or father, that she agrees to sell herself to cyber sex. And the point is, if only the child knows how to love God more than her mother or anybody else, or love God more than herself, the child would say, "No, I won't. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather die than to do such a sinful, evil thing." Right? And that is very much a sad reality. And still, there are so many parents who pushes their own child who even sell their own child to pay for their um, debts, and for those kind of businesses that abuses their own children, towards child labor, human trafficking, cyber sex, and even live selling of their daughters to those maniacs, rich people who are very perverted. So there is a lot more to say about these situations, and the point is clear that we should remember that we should love God more than anything else in this world if we really want to live happily in this life. Yet some would perhaps argue that, okay, we are dealing with life and death situation here. If they don't have money and there is no other means, so why not do such a thing that could give them or provide them food? Well, once again, life here on earth is just a very fraction of the whole story of our life. We still have an eternal life to go on, to move on after this, and we it's not one for everyone. I mean, not everyone will go to heaven. Many will go to hell. Some will go to purgatory and eventually go to heaven. And of course, those are religious matters that many people don't like to hear about. But for me, man, that's the truth. That's reality, and we need to answer not only to our parents. Actually, yes, God told us and asked us to love our parents, to honor our parents, but God did not say that you should sin in the name of loving or respecting or conceding to your parents' wishes. Okay, so that's it. That is about the economy. To have a little recap, each one plays a very important role. So develop your skills, develop your person, be a productive and important part of the society, and not a bomb, or not something like a liability to the society. and make sure that God is of the highest value in your heart and in your soul, in your mind, and in your endeavors, in your effort to live in in this life. So, in doing your economic endeavors here on earth, don't ever forget that God is the highest of all, and do not disregard the lives of others. Do not be selfish, and do not be materialistic. But at the same time, we need to use all resources that we have here on earth for the good of the society, for the good, for our own good, and most especially to follow the will of God. And I guess that's all. And thank you so much for listening. And may you have a good day. I will give you. You need to write once again another reflection about this discussion. 3 to 5 sentences, just a reflection, what you've learned about it. You can ask questions, some insights that you've got from it, and something you can share perhaps. I need to hear from your own words, please. You can get, yes, ideas from other sources, but I, the readers should know that it is the words that you're saying, the thought that you have is from your own and not from others. Okay? All right, goodbye. God bless.